So Catherine, excited to have you on the podcast today.
Thank you. I just realized I should probably be closer to the mic actually, right? Or no?
He said 2 fists.
2 fists? Okay. Yesterday I was like on top of it. So, okay. This should be fine.
Yeah.
Hopefully the audio is fine. Okay.
Yeah. So you got engaged.
I did get engaged. I got engaged last August. So it feels like it's coming up on a year, but it's not. But we just had our anniversary about a couple weeks ago. But yeah, I got engaged in August to my lovely fiancé, Brandon, the sweetest man ever. And it has been a lovely, lovely time. I had a very, very large engagement party when we got engaged, and it was really fun. And we can talk about that and that whole process like a little bit later. But do you want me to start with like where I'm from, what I do?
Yeah. I mean, we want to talk about all the things,
okay.
But let's start from the beginning.
Okay.
So we're here in Austin, which is where you live now.
It is.
And you are a full-time content creator.
Yeah. I've been doing full-time content creation. This, I guess, is my... is that true? Yeah, my year anniversary. So I've been doing content creation only for 2 years, actually. Before that, so a little background, I grew up in Seattle, went to the University of Washington, studied finance. Directly out of college, I went and worked at Deloitte Consulting, and I was an M&A strategy consultant for like 2.5-ish years.
Did you love that or did you hate that?
Oh my God, I loved it.
Okay.
I loved it. I'm like, I'm totally the personality that like loves consulting because I get bored really, really fast. And so I loved the ability to like move clients whenever I wanted. I loved traveling at the time. And so it was like the perfect role for me. I literally was I was the consultant that never went home on the weekends. Instead, I would like flex travel other places.
Stay in the city that you were in or go somewhere else.
Yes. It was it's a grind, right? Like it's not easy. You're working a lot. But like the camaraderie of having like a team around you, and it really is like they say you get to choose. I think it's like 3 things: the project or the work itself, the location, or your team. And I usually always had 2 of the 3. So like I had the best experience ever. What made me stop traveling was COVID. And then I moved to Austin. During that time, I was going to do New York, but and Austin was supposed to be short term.
New York was not the business during COVID. I can tell you from firsthand experience, we left the city after 15 years.
Well, everyone did. Which is precisely why I did not go. I was like, am I going to go live in a shoebox that I'm paying $1 million for by myself?
Well, it randomly got cheap for that like 1 year, and then it like doubled again.
Yeah. Cheap for New York, though, is still like not cheap.
True. That is true.
Yeah. And so I actually signed a short-term lease in Austin. And I was like, whatever, we'll go here for a little bit. Within a year, I'd already bought a condo downtown. So I was, in it to win it. But when I was here, I got a puppy, as everyone did during COVID. And I was like, oh, dang, guess I got to quit that job because I can't travel anymore. I was like, eventually we'll go back. Silly me. I probably could have stayed there until now because everyone's so much more flexible on their travel schedule.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, so I kind of lightly started looking for jobs, ended up doing internal strategy at Salesforce actually, which was just a lot less work, to be honest. Like I had way more free time than I was used to. And I was walking a ton and just kind of bored. And I've never had TikTok before this. I think I had maybe 1,000 followers on Instagram, never posted anything. Like I was just never on social media. And I had a friend that did it full time and she had like a super thriving business, loved it. And I was like, this looks fun. Maybe I should like try out TikTok. And I only started on TikTok because I was so like, I didn't want my friends to see it.
Which is, by the way, so many of the content creators I speak to, they mention that. They're like, I like did it on TikTok because I was embarrassed what my friends and family would think if they saw me like being a influencer, which I'm putting in air quotes right now because I know it's like become like a trigger word. People say influencer.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what else to like call it. What else do you call it?
Content creating.
Yeah. But I mean, there's a certain level of cringiness that I think everyone has to get past. Like you just like feel so much shame about it. And it's like, you don't feel confident enough to talk about it until you've like reached a certain level of success. But it's so funny because it's like, how on earth are you going to get there if you don't like go through this like level of, but I mean, that's just human nature, right? Like people just love to talk shit. So
no, but I love that you talk about breaking through that cringe factor. Cause even with Loverly, I have a brand that has 700,000 plus followers on one account.
That's amazing.
And we have another, thank you. We have another account that's like 120. I am never on the account. Like you're not seeing me plan my wedding. You're not seeing me. Why? because of that cringe, I'm like, I feel sometimes I'm a little old to be a bride or whatever it is. Whatever story we make up. That
you mean the story you're telling yourself that you could easily get over if you thought, and you shouldn't feel that way at all.
Yeah.
But no, I totally understand. Like there's definitely always a level of a cringe factor. I think it was really when I like went at it full time and I had like a significant amount of followers on TikTok or what like felt justifiable to me.
What was that number?
I think it was like 60 or 80,000 or something.
Okay. How did you get there though? What was like the first video or second video? Because on TikTok they'll pop off and like it goes.
Yeah. I feel like TikTok used to be a lot more fun. I talk about this with my content creator friends all the time where like TikTok used to be so fun and like it would push out your videos so fast in the beginning and having videos go viral was so common. It's not like that anymore. Mm-hmm. The algorithm is just so different now. And I feel like it like you don't get the same dopamine rush, so it isn't like as exciting, but it's kind of like that on Reels now.
Still
too.
Addicting though.
Yeah, I mean, I try not to watch TikTok, to be honest.
I don't have it on my phone anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I have to have it on my phone, but I don't watch it. But I remember I put on Instagram because this was when I was like, okay, I got to start cross posting on Instagram because like I love TikTok and it's great, but also with the inconsistencies with the algorithm, as well as the fact that like you want to be on multiple platforms, because I think having that Instagram following, although it wasn't like the cool thing at the time, there's still a lot of validity that comes from having a following on Instagram. So I was like, okay, I got to start cross posting, and I put every single person I knew from Instagram into my close friends. And I posted this story of literally just my face being like, hey guys, sorry, like I'm going to start posting all my stuff on here. If you don't like it, you can unfollow me, but this is my job now. So like, you're like, sorry, like that's what's happening. So I feel like I don't even know how many people saw that story or if they even care, but I'm at the point now where I'm like, look, if you don't enjoy seeing it, just unfollow me. That's fine. Like, I'm not too worried about what my friends from, the sororities and the frats think about me anymore. I feel like it is just about building that confidence, and also like building confidence in terms of speaking to a camera. I have people coming up to me all the time being like, oh my gosh, how do you get so comfy doing these videos? Because I'm not the type of creator that does a lot of stuff to like music, or I don't do a ton of voiceovers or make like little aesthetic videos. That's honestly not my type, the content that I'm good at creating. I do a lot of like informational talking to the camera. And I'm like, oh my God, go look at my videos from 2 years ago. And they're horrible. Mm-hmm. They're literally heinous. Like, it's just a muscle, like with anything, like any type of work that you're doing, it's just practice makes perfect. And I feel like I've finally gotten to a point where I feel very comfortable doing it, and I can like bang out a video really, really quick. And like from ideation to execution and all the editing and stuff, it comes pretty easily now. But I mean, that's just like, if you spend 2 years doing something, you're going to get good at it.
I spent enough time doing it for sure.
Yeah.
Going back though, what was the video that like,
you asked that.
You, do you remember?
So I think there's like, what's interesting about TikTok, and I think this is kind of my least favorite part about TikTok too, is like in the beginning when things were going viral, you would have like one video that went viral, and then you'd have like a pocket of followers from that video, and then another video in a kind of a different category that went viral, and then like a pocket of followers from that. So I feel like my community there is very segmented. So not everyone like followed me for the same thing. So I think kind of there are certain series that I've done that did really well. In the beginning, the one that really got me started in the beauty space were my Sephora sale recommendation videos, because I worked at Sephora all through college. I was a little product consultant. I loved it. It was my favorite thing. I loved gratis. I loved being around makeup. I've always loved makeup. So that was like the best job for me in college. And I did a little hook, and it was like what to buy from the Sephora sale with an ex-Sephora employee. And it did super well. And so I got a lot of followers from that. I've done like another, in the beginning, I did a lot of dress try-ons, and like those did oddly really, really well.
Like from Amazon or from brands?
No.
Like
no, what? Like, gosh, it was like I was going to one of my fiance's friends' weddings.
Oh, so like got it. Like how to style or how to get dressed.
Yeah, like I had like a few dress options, and I was like, which ones do you guys like? And
for different vibes, like a black tie wedding type thing.
Yeah, yeah. And those did really well. And then like my Acne Safe series did really well. And then now I'm really leaning into like the clean, non-toxic stuff. Those videos, like toxic things I've thrown out, those have done really well. So it's just kind of like weird little things. And I will say too, like I'll get burnt out on video types. Like I don't really make the Acne Safe series anymore, even though like they do perform really well. I'm honestly just tired of making them. And so I've kind of moved on to something else. But yeah, I mean, it's just kind of.
It was a topic that you get interested in that you decide to create content around and then you develop a little pocket of followers there. Yeah. And then you move on.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of the beauty of content creation is you can literally do whatever you want.
So have you gone into the wedding talk phase yet?
So
that's a segment. That's a big segment.
No, I know. I was like, dang, I'm missing out on a lot since I haven't started planning my wedding yet. But like the content is so good for it.
It's coming.
Yeah. But I did a lot around my engagement. Okay. Which was great. Like my engagement did really well. People were really interested in like my ring stack and what I was wearing for, actually, you know what? I did a collab post with Patrick Tom, whose makeup I love. And that video did so well. And it was kind of funny because he wanted me to do like a story time. And I was like, I really think that my fiancé is going to propose. But like, my fiance and I have been talking about proposing for a long time. And I was like giving them all of these reasons why I think he's going to propose. And that video popped off. And I was like, damn, babe, I think you have to propose now. And he was like, okay, like, I guess so. Like, we'd already been talking about it.
No
like,
pressure, but now it's gone viral on TikTok.
Yeah, I was like, sorry, you
it's
have
time
to. Yeah, I was like, maybe we speed up this process a little bit. But yeah, that one did really well. And then all of like the people were like checking in, like, are you engaged yet? And I'm like, no, not yet. But it took a long time to get engaged because I don't know why, but I've always thought like I get engaged and I should have a huge party that day and my whole family needs to be there. And being the crazy little perfectionist I am, that task for Brandon would have been absolutely heinous. Like there's no way. I remember he was thinking about trying to plan the party and I was like, oh, okay, like here's some friends that you can reach out to like, because he really wanted it to be a surprise. And I was like,
so we were talking about when you got engaged, there was a party like the same
day.
Okay. That was your expectation.
Yes.
And he knew that.
Which was so unreasonable.
So he was planning a proposal and a full party.
Well, so he wasn't planning the party for long. Let's just say I sent him some friends' names to talk to. And then, Texas, summer, 110 degrees, right? And I was like, okay, well, like, where are you thinking of planning party? Because like parties are cheap,
hold
right?
on. We need to rewind.
Okay. Sorry, are we getting ahead of ourselves?
First of all, let's talk about Brandon first.
Okay.
Because right now you're giving him a lot to do for a proposal.
I know.
But give us the background. How did you meet him? How long have you been together?
Yes.
Because clearly if you're giving him instruction on how to plan your engagement party, it's coming. So
yes.
I want to
It was not a surprise. Okay. So we were introduced by a mutual friend, actually. So we were both in...
So the offline real life connection is still alive because the last bride that I spoke to, same thing, mutual friend connection.
It was quite kismet, honestly. But we were both kind of in adjacent friend groups. We were meeting at a bar in Austin. It is no longer here, but it was called Bungalow. It was the best bar in Austin. It was so much fun. But we were both going for her birthday and she came up to me and she was like, hey, like I have a guy I think you'll really like that I want you to meet. And I was like, oh yeah? Who? And she points to Brandon and I literally look at her and I'm like, how many shots do you think it will take? And I was so drunk already. She was like, how many? And I was like, at least 5, because not 2 minutes prior to her saying that, had I had the most heinous interaction with him. Like it was a little cold outside. Again, I was a little drunk and I was in a mood apparently. And I was trying to get him to turn on this outdoor heater. And I was like, can you turn this on? And he was like, no, it's broken. And I was like, well, fix it. He was like, there's no propane tank in it. And I was like, then go get one. And he was like, well, I don't work here. And I was like, I was being so mean. And I was like,
So the heinousness was not him, it was you.
It was most definitely me. Yeah, I was being a huge bitch, if you can say it on this podcast. But it was not it was not a good interaction, I will say. But for some reason, he must have just thought I was really cute. Because after that interaction, we just by happenstance, I've never seen him before in my life. And after that day, every single weekend for 2 or 3 weekends in a row, he was there. Yeah. Like he was at the party I was at, or he was at this whatever function. And
he wasn't just totally turned off by.
No, I guess he was
bossiness. Maybe he liked it.
Yeah. Maybe he maybe he's a little bit of a masochist. I don't know. He was like, that looks fun. But yeah, I mean, he fast forward, I got COVID. I got sick and
this is during COVID, by the way.
Not really. No, this was like 2 years ago.
Okay.
So yeah, we've been together for two-ish years now, a little more than. And I got sick though, which I assumed was COVID, I guess. But he DM'd me and was like, hey, like, do you want to get lunch? And I was like, I'm sick. Did you not see the photo I just posted? Like, I'm sick. And he was like, I don't really care. And I was like, okay, sure. And I haven't been out of the house for like 4 days. So I was like, yeah, like, why not? Right. He picks me up in his little car. He's wearing his cute little work outfit. And I was just like so disinterested at the time because I was dating a lot. Like I was dating like 4 different guys at the same time. No one like seriously, but just kind of like seeing them here or there, whatever. And I feel like when you're dating people like that, like you don't like anyone because you like too many people at once. If that makes sense. Like you can't actually like one person.
You're actually non-committal, right? Yeah. That's the whole point, is that you're dating multiple people to figure out what you're looking for. Yeah. So you're not really into any single one person.
Yeah. And everything was so casual and no one was like really trying that hard. And neither was I. But he was so persistent. And eventually he won. And I was like, all right, give me a couple weeks and I'll clean up the roster we got going. And none of them talked to me anymore because they were like, what do you mean you have a boyfriend? We've been dating. Like, and I was like, I don't know what to tell you. So yeah, maybe I don't think people would love to hear that story, but I mean, that's how it happened. I feel like that's just like modern dating. Everyone's kind of dating around, but yeah, he stuck around and he made it through.
Serious.
He was very serious. Yeah.
And was he dating other people?
He was not.
So
I think.
So he had set his sights on you and was persistent.
He had, despite our absolutely terrible first interaction and that
first date when you were sick.
Yeah, it was fine. It wasn't anything to write home about. It was not love at first sight for us, but that's kind of very much so like me. Like I'm not a very like instant person. I'm like a big quality time person, and it takes a while for me to really like warm up to someone and like them. And so that's kind of how it is.
But that being said, you were dating for 2 years when you got engaged.
Mm-hmm. I know. It seems fast, right?
That seems
Didn't seem fast to us.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I'm not really sure. In my mind, I've always thought like 3 years, right? Like 3 years is a normal amount of time to be with someone. But I don't know. Like he seemed ready. I seemed ready. It felt right. We'd been living together essentially since the day we met because he was just always at my apartment, and because he lived kind of far. It was like 20 minutes north or south, depending. He had moved a couple times, but I lived in like directly downtown and I had a dog. So I was like, you're not going home. Like if you want to hang out, you got to live here. Yeah. So we had already been living together like that entire time. And it just didn't like,
When did he officially move in?
Well, he never officially moved into my condo, but like he went home one day a month to like he lived there. Like he lived there. He wasn't paying me rent, but he lived there. But yeah, and then we actually bought a house last March or last February, I want to say. And that's when he like officially moved in. He, has like drawers and, space and all that jazz. But we actually just bought another house a week ago that we're moving into again. And he's like, you got to stop. Cause I'm like, I love an energy shift and I love like, I don't know, like I'll get kind of in a rut and I'm like, I gotta get out of this place. And he's like, you can't do that if you're buying the houses. And I was like, that is so fair. But that's kind of the life, like that's what you signed up for. So yeah, it's been fun. And I'm like not the easiest person to live with. And like we definitely like butt heads often, but we always stick it out for each other, which I think is important. Like, I feel like there are a lot of instances in our relationship where I'm like, if it was anyone else and it was any like previous boyfriend I had or past, like I would be so out. Like, I'd be like, this is not worth it. But I feel like when you find the person, it's truly about like making that commitment to stay and like to work it out and to like get through the hard things. Cause like every relationship has hard times and hard things, but it's like, you just have to decide. Like, this is going to be it. Like, this is the person and like, we will get through things together. And I feel like we decided that from like kind of early on. And I think that's why we felt so ready at 2 years.
When you basically committed to being together, he unofficially moved in.
Yeah.
And what did he think about kind of your work and what you were doing? And like, how does that compare to his world?
Yeah. So I was a consultant.
You were consulting at the time?
Yeah. Well, I was at Salesforce at the time when we met. And so I was a consultant early on. He's a consultant too. So he's actually in Toronto right now. He's a traveling consultant. It has been the worst 6 months of my life, but he is coming off a project this week. Thank God. So I finally get him back again. It'll be quite nice. But he was like so supportive in the beginning because I think he kind of like saw the vision, I suppose, from my friend that was doing it already. He was like, okay, yeah, like you can make it work. Like you can do something. And he was always like my biggest supporter with even still, he like likes every video, like he'll press a little link button, like give it its nice good engagement.
So you come from the same world where...
Yeah. He actually was an engineer in college and then went and did consulting, which I love because I did business and I love knowing different things than my partner. Like he loved material science when he was in college, and he always has just the weirdest random facts that I have never heard of in my entire life. He's like, why don't you know this? Like, it's just common sense. And I was like, no, it's not. No, it's not. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. But yeah, I mean, we have a different set of knowledge, but we do similar things. So I feel like we can relate on a business level, but also like not step on each other's toes in terms of like, who's smarter in what area, I guess, if that makes sense.
No, totally. My fiance and I could not be any more different when it comes to work. I am in front of a computer all day building, our team is building software and the Loverly wedding planning site, and he's a contractor.
Oh, wow.
So he's building houses. But
wait, that's nice though.
We creatively collaborate together.
Yeah.
So our house is basically a living joint venture where I have a vision for something creatively, right? And then he's the guy that figures out how to do it. And he also is the details person. I'm a big picture.
Yeah.
It kind of puts me over the edge. And if he's listening to this, I'm sorry, Jesse. But he will go hard, like into the fine details of like the knobs for cabinetry.
He's meticulous.
He's meticulous.
Is he a worrier?
He's not. He's the exact opposite of worry.
Really?
I'm the worrier.
Really?
He is chill. I have a girlfriend of mine who literally said, if Jesse trips, his ass always falls in butter. Because the guy is just like, whatever.
That's so weird. I feel like it's usually different. Like the person that's very high level is also kind of like the laissez-faire, like it is what it is.
I'm big. That's why it's so ironic. I'm like big picture, big vision. Like I care about things like what's the budget? What are we trying to accomplish?
Yeah.
Right. And like creatively, what direction are we going in? And he's like, there are 72 different types of finishes that we can get for our like metal.
Yeah.
And I can't choose between these 12. And I'm like, I don't care. Just
choose one.
Yeah.
Okay. That's interesting. So when did you start your venture and how'd that come to be? Were you together?
We were not. So I'll give you the quick, I mean, some people who listen to podcasts, they've heard this, but I started the company 12 years ago. I was your age, 28, 29, and always a bridesmaid. Right? Multiple times. Yeah. My sister is a big wedding publicist. So she represents a bunch of celebrity designers.
Awesome.
Influencers get engaged or married or celebrities. She gets them on the cover of People.
Amazing.
And I was her business partner. I was helping her, run this PR agency.
Yes.
And this is literally 12 years ago. You can't even remember. There was no Pinterest. There was nothing on digital. There was no Instagram. There was no TikTok. There was nothing. There was nothing. And so there was like, a couple old websites that were out there. And I was like, this is really weird. Like, why are we carrying around binders and looking at magazines? This is, 2012.
Yeah.
There need to be something else. So we originally launched Loverly really as a place to help people find inspiration and ideas, people to hire, things to buy for their wedding. It's evolved so much over the years. Like we did have a very much like Pinterest phase that we were very similar. And now we're really focused on planning tools. So when I met him, it was 2017. I was 6 years into running my business. I was stressed out. I had like 25 employees. And I was like, what am I doing with my life? I'm so stressed. And a friend of mine, similar story to you, was like, I know someone that you would really like.
Yeah.
And at the time he went by the moniker Apollo.
What?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
He was a hippie guy.
Okay.
And he was teaching meditation.
Oh, wow.
And
hey, at least he's really
grounded.
Calm. Yeah. That's nice.
So she was
like, why Apollo? I
don't know. I haven't asked him that.
Oh, I think it's worth
to
ask.
He's Greek. Okay. And so, anyways, she was like, you would really like Apollo. And I'm like, first of all, anyone named Apollo? Like, no, absolutely not.
It is a red flag for sure.
I was like,
especially since it's not his actual name.
Yeah.
Like,
but that's what they do in the hippie meditation community. They were like, they take on the names of whatever.
I see.
Anyways,
okay.
I go to this meditation class and he was giving away meditations, not even like charging for it. He was doing it to help people.
That's
like,
nice.
Yeah, very nice. Opposite of me, like running a business, you know, stressed out. So that's where we met. Yeah. And I said to my friend, I was like, absolutely not. Like, I don't know what you
weren't
thinking.
Attracted to the energy that was like the exact opposite of yours.
Well, I was so like so opposite of him, like so into like the physical material business. And he was so into the ethereal, like light energy and whatever.
You were like, what are you doing?
I was like, I don't even relate to you. But then I ran into him like 2 or 3 other times over the course of like a month or so. And then we exchanged numbers. And anyways, the point is I joke that I ruined him because 6 months into our relationship, I was like, look, this meditation thing is cute, but like, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Like and so he started a business and now he's very successful and he's a contractor. But anyways, I tell you that story because like, I totally get that when you first meet, like I was like, this doesn't compute.
Yeah.
But the mergence of the energy balanced both of us, right? I kind of came up and became a lot lighter and more into like my health and wellness and like focusing on a balanced life.
Yeah.
And he became a little bit more grounded.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what you need. And I feel like I really do believe that what is meant for you will find you.
100%.
And like,
but you have to call it in. You have to be open and willing to like have that, you know. So clearly when you were dating those 4 people, you deep in the back of your mind, you were wanting something more serious.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I was never dating without the intention of finding something serious. Like if I didn't like I wasn't just going on a date to go to dinner. Like I have better uses of my time. I just wasn't like really clicking with anyone, I guess. And I feel like you just know when you know.
I was a single 20s living in New York, and that's how it is.
Probably the worst place to be single, honestly.
Yeah, the dating is very transactional there. It's like I had a friend who literally went on 4 dates in one day: a brunch, then a coffee, then like a early dinner, then a drink, then like the club.
Yeah,
like she would.
It's just a light date at the club.
She was, I'll meet you at the club, meet at the bar, whatever.
Right.
So New York was really, really difficult, and similarly, it's like you date because that's part of the culture.
Yes,
but when you don't find that it's a fit, it's like, all right, I kind of got over that. I was like, I don't want to date anymore.
Yeah.
So when I met my fiance, I was just like not dating anyone. I was over it. I was like, I just need a time out. I'm going to like, this is my time. And so, so I feel like I was able to, call in that relationship. But just, I know you haven't started planning your wedding, but
no,
I also have not. And I've been engaged now for 4 years.
Oh,
yeah.
That's so like off brand for you.
I had a engagement party that everyone thought was a wedding because I had like 3 outfit changes.
Oh, wow. You sound much like me. I'll have to show you my photos.
2 photo booths. We had like trays of dessert. It was a little bit over the top.
Yeah.
But then I was like, we got our fill.
Yeah,
we
you're
got our
good
fill
for now.
For a minute.
That's the exact way I feel about mine. I had this massive engagement party the day I got engaged. It was all kinds of fun. It was very expensive. My whole family came. My mom was in Hawaii. My dad is in Vancouver, Washington. So like not a short trip for them. And like every single person that I love was there. All of our friends were there. It was an open bar. There was an oyster bar. It was a great time, right? I had 2 outfit changes, 2 photo shoots. I had like, the whole shebang. Like so
it satiates you for a while.
Yeah.
Like, we do want to have a wedding. We do. And it's actually funny now because at this point, being engaged for 4 years, I feel weird calling him my fiance still. Sometimes I lie to people. I'm like, my husband, like when we're like checking into the airline, like my husband's over there. But for the record, we're still not married, but we will get married. We will have a wedding.
Yes.
We've just kind of done things a little bit out of order.
Yeah. And that's fine. Like I'm kind of the same way where I'm like, there's too many balls in the air for me right now between doing content full time, which is relatively new and a very hard thing to do from a time perspective, especially by yourself if you're not like delegating it to anyone. Like it's so much work to like create content, edit videos, always be thinking about like, you know, how you're going to grow. Yeah. Like there's no stopping to it and there's no structure to it either. It's all just like, how much do you feel like you want to work? And then on top of that, like I started like an Austin based clothing company, as well as I'm starting a grass-fed beef tallow based skincare company at the same time. So I'm like, there's too much stuff that's happening for me. Like I do not have time to plan a wedding. And like, you're like, yeah, you could get a wedding, but sure, I could get a wedding planner, but I'm insane. Like, I don't think that would work for me. Like I don't think-
you still, I would just the little bit I know about you from our short interaction, I think getting a great wedding planner would help to create structure for you. You seem to be someone who's going to want to pick out a lot of the things.
Yes.
But having someone to curate the options down is that that's what
like
a great
put something
planner
in front
can
of
do.
me and I'll let you know what.
Yeah, exactly. Curate and be like, what's your vibe? Get to know you and your fiance so that you can really start to hone in on like, all right, we want it to be really like modern or, you know, more whatever the vibe of the wedding's going to be, right? Is it going to be like on a beach or in a city or whatever? Right. You figure out the vibe or they can even help you figure out your vibe.
Yeah. I mean, that's the hardest part, I think, is like the reason why I'm not like so gung-ho about planning my wedding right now is I haven't ever really thought about it. I've been to a bunch of weddings because everyone my fiance knows is getting married. That's just Texas for you. But I've yet to go to a wedding that I was like, dang, that was sick. Like that was a really cool wedding. Like I would love my wedding to be like that. They're all just, you know, they're like beautiful weddings, but I don't know, maybe I'm just like a little picky or like my expectations are too high, but I'm like, I really need to think of something
alternative. Maybe you want something that's not the traditional like cookie cutter. Maybe you want something different.
Yeah. Yes, I do. I just like don't know what that looks like yet. And I don't have the time to think about it and then decide.
Totally. It's such a creative process. It really is. You have to have space. And that's how I feel. I feel like I have so many other things going on right now that I don't have the space to think about what it is because it is something being my business to some extent. Granted, we're all like the wedding planning tools and we feature a lot of weddings. I've seen everything there possibly could be, like literally everything.
Do you have an idea of what you'd want yours to look like?
I think it's going to be an international destination for sure.
Like a lovely Italy moment?
Maybe not Italy, but somewhere international. Okay. And just so it can be a smaller group.
Yeah. Having an international wedding really whittles down that invite list.
Exactly. Yeah. That by design. Like I said, I got my fill with our engagement party. It was really, it was so fun. And it was amazing because we had all our friends and family there. And, like I said, people thought it was our wedding. And for the most part, like it kind of was our wedding.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. You'll just have, it's almost like you're like, just wait another year or 5 and then you can just have your 10-year anniversary.
Exactly. That's probably
as a wedding.
That's probably what's
a vow renewal of the vows you never once said. But I mean, why not?
I want to get back to you and your stack.
Oh yes, my ring stack.
Because I want to talk about, or I want to hear about.
Should I point it to the camera? Yeah. Can they see it from here?
Well, first of all, you told him exactly what you wanted, I'm assuming.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I picked this ring out. I mean,
you and I are both East-West girlies, which I feel like.
I love an East-West ring. And you know, I don't know why. I just never gravitated towards a North-South ring or just like a traditional ring. Either. And then when I got this ring, I was kind of looking at all my other rings and I was like, oh, like this one I was wearing a lot. I have this like vintage one that Brandon gave me for Christmas that's also like a cluster of diamonds in an East-West. And I was like, oh, I just like all of my rings are East-West. And so like in my mind, the other ones like just didn't go. But I wanted something interesting that I wouldn't get super tired of. And I had always thought like, oh, I'm going to go through this elaborate design process to get like this really cool chunky gold ring. I love chunky jewelry. And
like a cigar chunky band?
Yeah, usually I actually have a cigar band on. But yeah, something like that with like a fat diamond like encrusted in it somehow. But that also is like analysis paralysis. It takes an incredibly long time and it's a very, very expensive process. And I was like, damn, well, what if one day I just don't want this ring? Because I feel like sometimes your fingers can get suffocated by the ring being too thick. So we I guess kind of decided that I wanted a really dainty band, and I'll show you what it looks like without the 2 rings around it. But I actually had these 2 rings prior to him proposing.
Oh, cool.
So I already had those rings that I loved and I wore them every day. And I was like, okay, what
Whisper thin.
Very thin. Yeah. It's insured. Don't worry. I know everyone's like, it'll break. But my whole thought was I needed to get a
small fingers.
I do have very small fingers. Yes.
That's the tiniest little band I've ever seen.
It's my mom's fingers. She has very small fingers too. But yeah, so I wanted this tiny little like dainty ring that I wouldn't get tired of. And then I stacked it. I had to make sure, the hard part was making sure the bezel was high enough to like fit perfectly around these. Yeah. So I had to go to a couple. Yes. I had to go to a couple jewelers, none of which actually worked. This ring we actually ordered online and just like hoped it would fit perfectly, and it did.
Wait, you mean the setting you ordered online?
Yeah. Well, he ordered the entire thing online.
Oh, wow.
He ordered the diamond, he ordered the setting all online. I can't remember where he got it from. Frank Darling? Does that sound like a jeweler? Frank Darling maybe? But I mean, it essentially is like you choose the setting and then it takes you to like a diamond marketplace. So exactly where like everyone else gets their diamonds, and it tells you can.
So he just did the whole thing online, but you told him exactly what you wanted.
Yeah.
Did you draw it out?
So no. So it was really hard to find an East-West oval in like an all gold setting that was really dainty that had like the bezel height that I needed. So after I think we went and tried on rings at Brilliant Earth, they have a showroom up in the Domain, which was really honestly the only place we could find that allowed you to make an appointment as easily as it was. It's very user-friendly. Tried on all the rings there, tried on a few diamond shapes, sizes, whatever. And I was like, I think I really like an East-West oval. And then we went to lunch after, had a couple of margaritas, and I think he ordered the ring at that lunch because I found one online. I was like, I think this one's going to be perfect. And he just sent it. You were part of
that online adding to cart process.
Yeah. I mean, I think he chose the diamond, but I also was like, it better be a good one. Like, it was like, that better be like really good, and he
so it was
learned
not
about
a
all the cut and clarity and everything.
You planned it all.
Yeah. I mean, okay. So there was actually an element of surprise. So he really did want it to be a surprise, which I loved, but it just wasn't working out. And
working out meaning like your personality, you needed to know.
Yeah. I don't like surprises. And if we were going to, get all my entire family there for the engagement party, and like also the reason why going back to the story I was telling, the reason why he stopped planning my engagement party was because he told me one of my friends said that the best place to have it was in our backyard. And I was like, what? What are you talking about? It's 110 degrees outside and our backyard is dust. There's no grass out there. It's fully dust. I was like, absolutely not. I will be taking it from here. Thank you. So yeah. So like, we had it in the bar of a really nice hotel downtown, and all that was planned by me, but he really wanted the actual engagement to be a surprise.
So you knew that the day you were getting engaged because you had planned your own engagement party, but you didn't know what the proposal was going to be.
Yes. So
I've never, ever heard of something like
really? This. Oh my God. People are going to be like, wow, she's like so picky. She like didn't want it to be whatever.
Now I understand why you have not started planning your wedding.
Yeah. I mean, it was like, planning that party was a lot of work and it was very expensive. So I'm like, I'm good, but he did want there to be like some element of surprise, which is funny because he was shaking when he proposed. Aww. Like he was so nervous, but he essentially in the morning, I woke up, like I was awoken at 8:30 and one of my friends came over that's a makeup artist. She did my makeup. And then my other friend came over and like helped me get dressed. And like I had a little outfit picked out, but I like didn't know where we were going or anything. She blindfolds me, puts me in a car, drives me to this location, takes me out, and then Brandon like takes me out of the car and walks me over, and it's at this gorgeous place. I think it's over on the east side called Secret Theater, Sekrit Theater. I don't know why they named it that, and it's like this little almost kind of like vintage looking gazebo situation with a checkered floor. It's stunning, and all these like natural vines growing in it. It's so pretty. One of my best friends, Eleanor Lee, who's an incredible photographer. She owns her own digital marketing agency, and she doesn't do engagement photos usually, but he asked her and she said yes. And she was there taking photos and then like took off the thing and walked me in and, did the whole deal. And then my dog runs out in a little bow tie and it was the cutest thing. So we have like the most adorable photos. And he even said like after the fact, he was like, thank God you knew. Cause like he would have been so nervous. Like,
oh, the stress.
Yeah. And he even wrote like everything he was supposed to say on the back of the ring box. It was pretty cute. And then I still have the ring box. So it's adorable.
So that happened like around what time?
Like in the day?
Yeah.
I mean, like 9, 10.
In the morning?
Yes.
Oh, it happened in the morning. And then your party was when?
6:30 at night. So yeah, so that happened. We went back to our house, packed up, got ready. Cause I was actually working with the Thompson Hotel to stay the weekend, like have a little like engagement staycation, which is like the best part about being a content creator full time is you get to do really awesome stuff like that. So I had them come over and then for
was that where you had your engagement party at Wax Myrtle?
Yes. Yeah. No longer Wax Myrtle. I think it's now something Abajo. I can't remember. They just changed it. Arriba Abajo. That's what it is now. Haven't been. But yeah, so I had it at Wax Myrtle. It was a beautiful location. And before, like
great cocktails too.
Really great cocktails. And we did have an open bar, which I think is incredibly important if you're going to have any sort of wedding related thing. But yeah, so we went to the hotel immediately after, and then I started getting ready because the night before, another friend, her name is Grace, and I think her name is like the letter Grace, but she's also an incredible photographer. And she was like, hey, is anyone taking engagement photos for you for your engagement party? Because she saw that I was talking about it. And I was like, I do have a friend coming for the party, but if you wanted to come before, we could do like another round of engagement photos. She was like, cool, when is it? And I was like, tomorrow. And so she was like, great, sounds good. So I had like a whole other outfit change that I thought I was going to wear out that night. Cause after we all like went out to the bars, like all of our friends. And then I ended up not wearing it for that because it was just a little too fancy, but I got the coolest hotel shots with the dog. The dog was there too. And like Brandon had a cute little,
we're going to have to link in the show notes. People can see.
Yeah. It's great inspo. It's really, really great inspo. And I had like a vintage cake. Like it was all very, very cute, but everything definitely
When was that?
That was like an hour before thing.
No, I mean like how many months ago?
Oh, it was in August.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Oh, dead of summer. That's what you said.
Yes, dead of summer. So yeah, that's luckily Wax Myrtle's is inside. Yeah. But I was like, God, we cannot do that outside. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, but great views, like city vibe.
Yes. It was
anyone
stunning.
who is listening who doesn't know Austin, it's like downtown Austin, quintessential city vibe views. Super cute.
Great views.
Good food.
Really good food. Yeah. They had I wish I ate more. But
that's what everyone says. Everyone says, I wish I ate more.
Yeah.
At my engagement party, we had incredible food. My dad is Lebanese and he had like this amazing Lebanese caterer.
Yum.
And literally I still get text messages from my friends from high school, college, whatever, that are like, I dream of like the meat and the hummus from your engagement party. It was so freaking good.
Oh, yeah. I'm jealous. Yeah, I know. I was like, I literally had an oyster shucker. I did not eat one oyster.
Because you get so excited and you're just like.
I know. And you're just talking to everyone. Like it was I thought that 3 hours was going to be way too long.
It goes by so fast.
So fast. I was like, I think I had one drink the entire time. But the staff there was incredible. They were like checking up on me, asking me if I needed another drink, like keeping me updated on the bar tab. I was like, okay, great. So it honestly went incredibly well. It went off without a hitch. There was nothing wrong with it other than the fact that it was probably the longest day of my life. That was like so full of emotion.
Did you feel like hungover the next day, even though you weren't
I was hungover, but yes. Yes, I was hungover. I don't think we left the hotel room that entire weekend. Like we didn't even go to the pool. I'm pretty sure we like sat in the bed, ordered room service and watched like, I think it was like Texas Game Ranger or something. Cause that was the only thing on TV for like 2 days straight, but it was great. Like, and our dog was there. It was the best time ever. I wouldn't have wanted to do it any other way. I feel like I look back on that moment with so much like fondness and joy. And I loved that I was able to compound all of those emotions into one singular day. And it kind of took off like the stress of having to plan it after. Cause I feel like once you get engaged, you do feel so stressed about, okay, well now I have to plan the party. Now I have to, and like coming to Texas, now there's, you know, your engagement party and then there's wedding showers and then there's bridal brunches and like all of these things.
Bachelorettes.
Yeah. I'm like, I didn't
welcome reception.
Yeah. It's like, there's a million new things that you have to plan for. And I'm like, where did these come from? It's the same thing. It's the same people. We're doing the same thing over and over and over again. What do you mean? So I feel like there is like all that added pressure, but I think people have just stopped asking me when I'm getting married at this point because the answer is just, I have no idea.
Same.
Yeah. I mean, wait until I get to 4 years, right? Like
it'll be 4 years in June.
Before you got married.
Exactly. Oh yeah. Spoiler alert, everyone, we had a baby since the last time you saw me.
Oh my God. How long ago was that podcast? How fresh is that baby?
She's 4 months old.
Oh my God. Yeah. She's really precious though.
Thank you.
I love her cute little bow.
As I said, we're doing things out of order here.
Yeah,
which
but that's okay.
That's the way we do it now.
Yeah. I think there's totally
the rules to wedding planning there are no rules. You do you.
Yeah.
That's the only way to do it.
I think like do whatever feels right for you at the right time. Us getting engaged, even though like it felt kind of, well, it didn't feel fast for us, but like, even though a lot of people could be like 2 years is very fast, felt like the right time for us. So we were like, great, let's do it. Whenever we get married, I'm sure it will feel like the right time, but it doesn't feel right yet.
So since you haven't actively started planning, well, I'm gonna, this rapid fire questions that I'm going to throw at you.
I have a lot of opinions about weddings,
which is great, but maybe it'll help you either like narrow your vision and basically I'm going to give you options and you have to give me like a quick answer.
Okay.
Rapid fire.
Okay. I'm ready. Okay. I think.
Are you going to have a domestic wedding or international?
I always thought international. This is not going to be rapid fire. But I think it might end up being
2 options. Is it here or is it there?
I think it's going to end up being here, but it's not going to be in Austin. I don't think.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of
so it's going to be the US.
Yeah.
Okay.
It might be both. I might have 2 weddings. You never know.
Okay.
Like,
look, I'm a big fan of multiple weddings.
Yeah.
Big fan.
Why not?
Yeah.
Why does the fun have to stop after the first one?
If you have the funds, just let it keep going.
Yeah,
that is one of the reasons.
Right?
It's the budget.
Yeah. I was like, why don't we wait for like a few years and then I'll be a lot richer and then we can have an even bigger wedding, It's like the longer you wait, the better it's going to be. So
totally. Okay. Over 100, under 100
people?
Yeah.
Okay. Under. Do I even know 100 people?
Under or over 50?
Under.
Oh, you want a baby wedding? You want not baby, but 50 people's intimate.
I mean, I had like 75 at my engagement party and like love all those people. But I feel like as I get busier, my close friend groups
shrink.
Yeah.
Okay. So under 50, that's an intimate wedding. That's doable.
Yes.
Are you thinking, like, I guess it's very early. Are we doing multiple looks or one?
Oh my God. Yes.
Okay.
I can't have one. I had 3 just for my day of engagement.
Okay.
I think I actually had 4.
I had 3 on my engagement. I got it.
Yeah.
If you include my robe situation, it was 4.
Oh, if we're including that, then it's 5. Yeah. Yeah. Because I had the pre-shoot and then I had the actual engagement, the party dress, and then another one for when I went out. No, I'm like I love a good look. I will change outfits as many times as possible.
Are you a band or DJ girl?
Oh, that's hard. I love like that. If it's like a really cool band and like you're really doing it right and it's not just like they're singing, greatest hits and covers, like I think band, but if you're really trying to start a party, DJ. So I don't know. It totally depends on your vibe of a wedding. You could also
do both.
Yes.
You could start with the band, like transition to
DJ. Yeah. Exactly. How much money do you have to throw at music? That's what's going to determine what's happening.
You would be surprised how expensive bands are, especially if you're like a 12 or 16 person band.
Well, the second you say you're having a wedding, this price is like through the roof, like they'll put a premium on anything. So I'm not sure. We'll see.
Are you a cake or a dessert person?
I love cake. I'm obsessed with cake. Like I think it's my favorite dessert of anything. So definitely cake. I love like all the vintage cakes that are happening right now. I
had them at my baby shower. It was like so cute.
They're so cute and chic. There's actually a girl in Austin named, her Instagram is Bella Bakes, and she makes the most adorable vintage cakes. And I had her do mine for my engagement party. If I ever have anything wedding related anytime soon in Austin, I'll have her do that one too. But they're really cool.
Love that. I'm a big fan of the vintage trend right now. And because I feel like it really plays up buttercream, and the buttercream frosting, if it's done right, is
I love frosting. Yeah, I'm just like, I love an icing. What can I say? I'm like corner of the cake gal. Like give me as much icing as possible.
Exactly. Are you a champagne tower or a signature cocktail girl?
Both. I think both. I think the champagne tower, the champagne tower is for the vibes. It's for the photos. Mm-hmm. I don't actually like champagne. I'm not going to drink it.
No.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah. But it's
horrible. Hate champagne.
But I want the photos.
Even the fancy champagne. I hate it.
Yeah. No, I just like, I don't like it. I don't understand the point of it. But like, it's for the photos, right? Like you're doing it for the photos.
Yeah.
Or I would be at least. And then I feel also it's like so messy. Like do people actually go take the champagne after they pour them?
I think so. And also I've seen a lot of videos where they fall.
Yeah.
Which is my worst nightmare. And I had it at my engagement party and it went off without a hitch.
Oh, good.
But
I just saw
had
someone's
angst about it. Yeah. I have angst about it.
Yeah.
It was
and
a
it's
moment.
Like, is it glass or is it pot? Like, that's a big question. Like that's a scary moment. But yeah, I am an espresso martini, spicy margarita gal. Those are my 2 favorite cocktails. Brandon is an old fashioned kind of guy. So I feel like we'll likely have, as I said, open bar or bust. I feel like those are the rules. It has
to make it. Yes.
Yeah.
I feel that.
Yeah.
I feel that. Okay. Would you have a bridal party, wedding party?
Honestly, probably not, because I feel like I'm the star. To me. Not to be a
What about your fiance? Would he?
You know what? Yeah, this might be a topic of contention for us because he definitely would want like a bridal party. And again, like no one's planned it. We haven't talked about it, but I feel like it looks so clean if it's just you two up there. And it just also totally depends on like what type of wedding you're putting on. Like, you know, if it's like in front of the Amalfi Coast and like you're overlooking the water and it's this like beautiful thing. Like I don't think I want a bunch of other people standing up there with me. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure.
You've answered all my rapid fire.
Okay.
Is there something that has surprised you during this like non-planning or this engagement period of your life? Like what has changed or what has happened since you've been engaged that you were surprised by?
Oh gosh. Okay. Well, I think I didn't expect every single person's first question to be, when are you getting married? I guess maybe I could have thought about it a little more and like I could have expected that and seen it coming. But
haven't you seen the meme where it's like when you get engaged, when you start dating, it's when are you getting engaged?
Yeah.
When you get engaged, they ask you when you're getting married. When you get married, they ask you when you're going to have a baby.
Kids,
when you have a baby, they ask you when you're going to have another one.
Yeah.
And another one.
Yeah. I want out of this cycle. I want out. Yeah. It's just like, I don't know. I think that was, everyone asked too, like, oh, like what's different about being engaged now? Like with Brandon and our relationship specifically. And I'm like, literally nothing. I feel like it should feel the same.
Yeah.
You know, like nothing has really changed between us. What I do really like about it though, is I feel like there's almost like a new level of trust between you and your partner. Like you really feel like a team. Like you feel like it's you against the world and you are like seriously one person and like you're fully in unison because you have like very outwardly made that commitment to each other in front of everyone. And even though like that's how you should be operating in a serious relationship regardless, like it just feels a little different. So I wouldn't say that's necessarily like a surprise or the other one was really a surprise either, but those are kind of the two things I've noticed about it.
I love that.
Yeah.
When if you feel that way, then you don't feel the need to rush to get married because you already have that like security and that safety, which is at the end of the day, you know, really what it's all about. It's with your heart, being with your partner and feeling supported and like you got your ultimate team player.
Yeah. That's it. I always like to describe relationships as teams like that. That's all you're looking for. You need to operate as a team. Like you need to work, like go throughout life as though you are a team and you're bettering the team together. And yeah, that I think we're like really in a good groove of that. And that's why I'm like so thankful for him. And it's great.
This has been the Loverly Wedding Podcast. We are hosted by Kelly Khalil, produced by Shannon Dietrich and Jennifer Alvarado, edited by Terry Carmichael. Watch the podcast on YouTube by subscribing to our channel, and you can follow and listen to us on Spotify, iTunes, and every major podcast feed.